Former House Speaker Kevin McCarthy will go down in the history books for two major moments: the 15 rounds of voting it took to secure his gavel, and just 9 months later being the first ever speaker voted out.
I leave the speakership with a sense of pride, accomplishment, and yes, optimism.
This has literally never happened before.
Twice in American history, we've come close.
That's senior fellow at Georgetown University, Matt Glassman.
In 1910, the resolution was moved against Speaker Cannon. He actually brought it by himself as a test of confidence in him, and the resolution was rejected. And in 2015, Representative Meadows filed a resolution to remove Speaker Boehner, but that resolution never came to the floor and was not acted upon.
So now, in unprecedented fashion, another House Republican will need to unify the party and earn 218 votes on the floor, which will take a lot of negotiating and closed-door meetings.
The parties come to consensus together in their private caucuses and then go to the floor with it. But of course, that's not what happened with Mr. McCarthy at the beginning of the 118th Congress. The Republican Party and the direction it heads is really up for stake right now, based on how the factions work out who is going to be Speaker. And that's important to all Americans because one of the two major political parties is really choosing its forward-going direction congressionally.
Representatives Jim Jordan and Steve Scalise have announced their bids for speakership, but before we even get to the House floor, we must differentiate the absence of a speaker in the beginning of the year and now. Back in January, we didn't have a speaker or any House rules. No rules meaning in the chamber, camera operators could capture many more angles than usual, and on the House floor, people could snap forbidden selfies and paid lobbyists could visit areas that would usually be off limits. On top of all of that, even the thermostat was unmanned because it's the speaker's job to control it. One representative went so far as to call January's speakerless chamber Bizaroland. But once McCarthy became speaker, House rules were adopted for the 118th Congress, which includes a very important protocol.
The House rules provide for a temporary speaker. Rule 1, Clause 8 allows for a Speaker pro tem who comes from a list that was actually chosen by former Speaker McCarthy at the beginning of his term as Speaker.
Meet active Speaker Congressman Patrick McHenry of North Carolina.
So he's going to be in charge of the House and preside over the House until the election of a new Speaker. The most important thing is that pending this election, we are not going to have much actual business on the House floor.
And the pressure is on with a temporary 45-day funding bill in place until America is on the brink of another shutdown.
Until this is solved, Congress is, at least partially by choice, paralyzed right now. On one hand, it does seem like chaos and sort of a complete mess.
Boo all you want. It's disgusting. It's what's disgusting about Washington.
Be a chaos agent or get back to work.
But on the other hand, it is sort of the stuff that politics is made of, and choosing leaders and setting forward coalitions in Congress goes a long way to ultimately deciding what policies will come forward.